Hey everybody, this is Jimmy, and you're watching JimmyAmericaPhoto because somebody told you that if you play the video backwards, there's some kind of like hidden satanic message. I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news, but somebody's pulled a prank on you. No satanic messages here.
Wait, so now we're not doing it?
The question I get asked more than anything else is which digital camera should I get? Which I always reply with, it depends on what you want to do with it. Which is then usually countered with a facial expression,
oh come on man, I just wanted you to tell me to buy a DSLR.
But I'm not going to do that. There are thousands of cameras on the market and they're not all just trying to be better than the next one. There is no be-all, end-all camera. If there was, I would have it. Actually, I wouldn't, because it would cost a fortune. Absolute fortune. Can you imagine that? Each camera is built for a specific purpose. So I'm going to quickly run through each type of camera, do a quick list of pros and cons, and then finally some recommendations at the end. Stay tuned. A lot of people seem to think that there's only two kinds of cameras on the market. DSLRs and everything else. But there are so many different kinds of cameras on the market. Starting with your most basic, you got your point and shoots. Then you move on to your super zooms. Then you've got your mills and evils, which, let's face it, are just like the coolest camera name ever. Your micro four thirds and your four thirds, which are pretty much the same as the mills and evils. Usually they're less sparkly than that.
They all come like this.
And then finally DSLRs. Oh, and you can't forget the most popular kind of camera in the entire world, cell phone cameras! Don't overlook the cell phone camera. I've seen some amazing work done by cell phone photographers. Of course, there are others, such as medium format and film, but this is digital photography, so we're not so interested in the film. And if you can afford a medium format camera, then what the hell are you doing watching this video series? You should be way above where I am. Everybody is familiar with point and shoot. As the name suggests, you just point and shoot. No detachable lenses, no manual control. They're cheap and they take photos, but they offer next to no control over how the final photos can actually turn out. Usually they have scenes for like sunset mode and stuff, but that's about it. That's as far as control you're gonna get.
But those things are pretty good.
Yes, at the same time, sometimes that's all you need the camera to do.
Yeah, if you're just taking habits now.
It's just... list of pros, they're light, they're cheap, they often have waterproof models on the market, which are great for travel, and they're perfect for preserving memories. On the cons, they offer no control, and usually they don't put out the best photos. My recommendation, check out the Samsung MB900F. Very cool camera, I like the flip the screen. Next are the compact cameras. Now compact cameras themselves are very similar to point and shoots, but they offer a little bit more control over how the... Oh, this isn't a point and shoot, it's a freaking compact! What really sets compact cameras apart from point and shoots is that they usually have this little dial on the top, offering you like a manual, shutter, and aperture priority modes, as well as offering all the pretty scene modes such as sunset, food, nights, beauty portrait.
Yes, swimming.
You don't have the option of changing lenses, but because you have the aperture and shutter speed modes, you do actually have some control over how the final photo is going to turn out. List of pros, they're small, there's more control, and there's a huge range of them on the market. Some cons, they can be a little bulky for what they are, and as I said before, you can't change lenses. My recommendations, if you're looking for fun, the Samsung Galaxy camera is just coming on the market and it looks really, really cool. If you want a basic compact that just takes great photos, check out the Lumix TZ30. If you want a really fancy compact camera, I'd check out the Canon G15. Another type of compact is called the Super Zoom. Super Zooms look kind of like tiny little DSLRs. They don't have detachable lenses, but as the name suggests, they can zoom in really far, like really far. And since they look like tiny little DSLRs, they fit great in your hand. Pros, easy to hold in your hand, they can zoom in really far, and they offer you a decent amount of control. Cons, they do take up quite a bit of purse real estate. I hear that's quite important to some ladies.
It really is.
My recommendation, check out the Lumix DMC FZ150. And if that one can't zoom in far enough for you, check out the soon-to-be released Fuji, what is it? SL1000. Okay, this one gets kind of complicated, so I'm going to need you to rope me in if I start like speaking too many complicated things, okay? Okay. Four thirds, micro four thirds, mills, and evils are all kind of the same group of cameras. They're all pretty compact, and they all have lenses that come off. The four thirds system was invented by Olympus and Panasonic, and the most basic difference between a four thirds and a micro four thirds is size. The lovely Violet here has a micro four thirds. If you can't recognize it, it's because it used to be a GF3.
And now it's a pretty GF3.
And now it's a very pretty GF3. They all have the same image size sensors, so quality is about the same. And since all the companies got together to come up with a system, you can use other 4/3 camera lenses on your 4/3 camera. So you can use a Panasonic lens on an Olympus camera, and so on and so forth. MILS stands for Mirrorless Interchangeable Lens System. And EVIL stands for Electronic Viewfinder Interchangeable Lens. I love that our best evil impersonation. That basically sums up exactly what those types of cameras are. The electronic viewfinder is a personal favorite of mine. Because you can look through the viewfinder and you can see information. It's like you're the Bionic Man. It's awesome.
But it's basically still a small camera with an interchangeable lens.
It's still a small camera with an interchangeable lens. So basically, Olympus and Panasonic got together. And they're like, "Ooh, we're gonna invent this cool club where we can all share lenses, and you can be in it, but you have to be have this badge on the front of your camera." And then some companies were like, "We're down with that," and then other companies were like, "Screw you, we're gonna go invent our own system with blackjack and hookers." And then the Nikon J1 was made, and everyone was like, "Oops."
Why are they like this?
Because it's a terrible camera. I hate it. It's so ugly.
It really is. Is that the square box?
Yes, that's the square box one.
It's so ugly. It's
I
pink
know.
and it's ugly.
Oh. And everyone's like, this is going to be a butt ugly camera. And then it came out, it was a butt ugly camera, and everyone bought one. That's consumerism. So all those camera systems are pretty much the same. Some are better than others, some cost more than others, some cost more than others, but are not better than others. This group can be a minefield of fancy talk and gimmicky features. So if you're interested in getting one of these, make sure you do your research. Very important. This is a micro four thirds because you can use lenses from other people's cameras. But it's also a Mills because it's a mirrorless interchangeable lens system. List of pros, they're very stylish. The picture quality ranges from pretty good to amazing. They can be very lightweight, and you can share lenses. Woo!
Yay!
Yay! Sharing is caring. On the downside, there's a lot of confusing cameras out there. Like a 4/3 camera can't use a micro 4/3 lens, but they're both 4/3 micro 4/3 group. To get the great image quality that some of them offer, you have to spend big bucks, like more expensive than a DSLR. And more often than not, they don't offer manual control over movie modes, which is a big deal to me and anyone else that's interested in making movies with their camera. My recommendations? If you've got a low budget, check out the Lumix GF5. That is the slightly newer version of this one right here. It's got a new rubber grip and 14 different scene settings, such as cute food. Cute food is a setting. Can you believe that? I think it's like cute dessert.
Because it's awesome.
If you've got a mid-range budget, check out the Sony Nex 7. I haven't actually tried the Nex 7s, and I think they look really ugly, but I've heard a lot of great stuff from photographers. And if you've got a huge budget, I'd go with the Fuji X Pro. It is, I've used it once, and it's just awesome camera. I love it. I'd totally get one if I could afford it. They're way out of my budget.
When I'm rich, I'll buy one.
Oh!
So maybe I'll let you use it.
Oh, but you're gonna do this to it!
Yeah!
No! Can we get two?
No!
Because it comes in black.
No.
Oh. Finally, we've come to DSLRs. It doesn't matter what DSLR stands for because it's not going to help you understand it any easier. DSLRs are big. They have big lenses, they have big bodies, but they also have big sensors. The sensor is the important part because that's where the whole photo comes together inside the camera. And generally speaking, the bigger the sensor, the better the quality photo. Most DSLRs on the market today have scene modes such as sports and kids and macro, but where they really excel is in the manual modes. Because in manual, you have full control over everything. Shutter speed, aperture, your ISO. That's okay, we're going to do a whole video on each one of those terms. So you don't have to understand it now, you will understand it later.
Yay!
Yay! So pros, full control, they look very professional, and great image quality. Cons, they're expensive, they're big, and they're heavy. Now, the low end of DSLRs are usually quite expensive, and if you're watching this video series, that's probably what you're going to be interested in. So my recommendations for a low-end intro DSLR are the Pentax K5, which actually takes great photos. It's not actually low-end at all, but it is cheap. The Nikon 5200 or the D7000, that's what I shoot on, and that's what I'm shooting this video on. And if you like Canon, check out the Canon 650D. Like I said before, the camera that's right for you depends on what you want to do with it. But since I can't ask you directly what you're planning on doing with it, I'm just going to split my audience into two groups. You got the vloggers, and you got photography enthusiasts that are interested in photography, but are just starting out. When most people get started in vlogging, they get a DSLR because other people tell them to get a DSLR. Those people only have DSLRs because other people told them to get DSLRs because they thought it would make them look professional. Are you still with me? This is the cycle that we can break, people. More often than not, you don't want a giant camera that's going to be weighing you down or taking up valuable space in your bag that could be used for flat shoes.
I need flat shoes.
You need the
They're
flat.
uncomfortable.
They're very uncomfortable, aren't they? So, let's weigh up our alternatives. If your vlog is just what you did last weekend, don't overlook the point and shoot. They've come a long way in the last few years. They're lightweight and they'll fit in a clutch.
You know what a clutch is. It's a bag.
It's a very important bag.
It doesn't fit flat shoes.
It doesn't fit flat shoes. The next big thing for point and shoots is internet connectivity through Wi-Fi. So you'll be able to take your photos and then upload them directly from your camera over an internet connection to your Facebook, to your favorite photo sharing sites, even YouTube. Actually, I've seen the latest Samsung camera has connection to Instagram, so you can actually take your photo and then send it to Instagram on the camera. How cool is that?
Follow me.
Follow me too.
Follow me more.
At that level of camera, they're all pretty much the same, so gimmicks would really sell the cameras. Keep an eye out for cool flippy screens and built-in photo filters.
I love flippy screens.
And photo filters! If your blog is more product-orientated, I would lean more towards the Mills Micro Four Thirds system, and then get 2 lenses. The first being a wide-angle, wide-aperture pancake lens, such as this one, and that's for when you're going to events that might have some low light, and also for cam horn photos. But this is seriously a ridiculously light lens, like seriously lighter than it. If I let go of this lens right now, it would probably just fly away. It is that light. Oh, oh, oh. The second lens I would get is a macro lens, and that's for your product photos where you actually need to get right up close. And that's all you're gonna need. If you're doing a travel blog, then I would say look into the Super Zoom's entry-level DSLRs. If you're getting a camera because you're actually interested in photography, then I would say you have to look at the DSLRs, Mills, Evils, Micro Four Thirds range systems. They're the only cameras that are going to give you the control that you need to be able to get creative with your photos. When people tell me that they want to go down the DSLR route, I always give them this piece of advice. Get the cheapest DSLR that has the features that you need, such as frames per second if you're doing sports, or bracketing if you're going to be doing HDR, and then pair that up with a really nice lens. DSLRs are constantly improving. Film cameras that were top of the line only a couple years ago are now only worth a couple $100. But lenses from 4 decades ago that were top of the line then are still pretty much top of the line now, and they'll work on modern DSLRs. Good glass is not only an investment, but it also affects your image quality in the biggest possible way. So splurge on a nice 24 to 70mm 2.8 lens, and then upgrade the body down the line when you need a little bit more performance. There are a few websites that I always check out whenever I'm interested in buying new gear. I'll put them in the description below so you can check those out. If you have any questions whatsoever on anything that I've talked about today, or in photography in general, feel free to ask in the comments below, and I will answer those individually because I am that kind of person. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe for next week when we're talking about scene modes.
Yay! I love scene modes.
Doesn't everybody? Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week.
Bye!
Yeah,